Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're talking about some planetary alignments that will be affecting all of us. Today we're talking about Saturn in retrograde. So I'm going to give you the dates one more time. This is kind of like the July update. And so I'm talking about these energies that are affecting us, and I'm going to add some personal insight to this because I've had so many clients having problems with Saturn in retrograde. So I'm going to talk about some of that information, hopefully get it through you a little bit easier, and then I'll be pulling some angel cards to give us a little bit deeper insight. So let's talk about the things that we really know about Saturn in retrograde. So Saturn entered in pre-shadow on February 14th. It's stationed full retrograde on May 23rd, and it will turn direct on October 10th. And then it will be in post shadow until January 15th. And so this has almost been a whole year of dealing with Saturn in retrograde. So, and this happens quite a lot with Saturn in retrograde because it's one of the outer line planets and it doesn't move very fast. It will stay in retrograde for several months. I think it's like 4.5 months on average. So, Saturn in retrograde is all about karma and kind of letting go of the past and past lives as well. So a lot of this karma comes up for people that haven't been letting go of stuff. So if you are dealing with kind of like sadness or tiredness, feeling unmotivated or just kind of like stuck, things are not moving for you, it's because you most likely are holding on to some type of karma issue that you haven't worked through or dealt with. Now, karma is kind of like a strange energy because there's some things that you can do to lessen some of the karma that is meant to come back to you. So if you didn't treat someone really well, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's going to be a lot of karma now that I know better, just knowing that you're trying to do better, that can lessen some of it. But then you can also make amends to it, or do something where you can give some energy, positive energy back to that person. Saturn also comes through with this kind of like structure and time issues, and sometimes that can be karma as well. Karma can affect our time issues and delay things. When we've delayed things for other people, it can in turn delay things for us. But it's one of those kind of because this retrograde cycle is in the energy of Aquarius, it can kind of add this unpredictability to Saturn in retrograde. It can bring it kind of a little topsy-turvy, kind of like what's about to happen next. But it has a really great combination between Saturn and Aquarius, kind of to make it a little bit different, to give it a different feel or a different energy. And because you're kind of like talking about like the old and the new kind of like coming together. It's one of the things that I think is really interesting is Saturn can really affect global stuff because Saturn is so far out and it moves so slowly. It can affect a lot of political energy as well, or global energy. And it can bring up a lot of extreme energy, kind of people not understanding what's coming up or how things are going to change. And as things change, you have people that are kind of like sitting in the old way of like, I don't want to change this, but I do want something that's new. So kind of like that yin and yang of both change and coming back together. Saturn really works really well with people that are really diligent. So if you're constantly working on yourselves or kind of always trying to upgrade your energy, this is going to be a great time to do that. And it may also be a great time for you to start a class or learn some things about your own abilities. One of the things that's interesting is as we go through this Saturn in retrograde, and like I said, it's been going on since February, it's been affecting a lot of people. A lot of people will kind of have this almost like yin yang energy. They'll be really helpful one minute and kind of like angry or upset the next time. And it's kind of like this energy of like, I don't know where to go and I don't know what to do and I'm not really sure how to deal with all of it. And that is usually a sign who's someone who's dealing with a lot of karma issues. Like I said, karma can come through with a lot of energy as well. One of the things that I think it can be interesting is when someone really works energetically to release their karma. It can make Saturn in retrograde much easier, but you really do have to be diligent and work towards it and work on it for quite a while usually, because it's usually not one thing that you did wrong, it's several things or several people that you've treated badly, and that karma will come back and get you. So let's pull a couple of cards and get a little bit deeper insight into Saturn in retrograde. Support. One of the things is when you are going through something like this, you really do have a lot of support on the other side. We don't always feel it, we don't always nurture it, we don't always understand it, but we do have support on the other side. Our angels and guides are always there to support us, and they can help us work through some of the old karma that we haven't really been able to let go of or deal with. And that will bring in some brand new beginnings coming in for Saturn and coming in for us. Granted, we're still going to be feeling the Saturn energy for quite a while, but it's one of those, know that those new beginnings are coming or starting. When we've released the old karma, we're opening ourselves to what's coming up next in our lives. So that can be really fun. Study. Like I said, this is a really great time to get into a class, get into a new book, learn something about you or learn something different. And that can always be a fun time to work through things. That's the cool part. So I think it's interesting when Saturn is in retrograde, how many people that step up and want to take a class with me or want to learn or something, do something differently. So know that this is a great time to step up in that energy now and really kind of open up to that and take some classes. So that's really fun. Listening. One of the things that I think is really interesting when we're dealing with karma is a lot of times we're not always listening to all parts of it. And so we need to understand completely what we've done to the other person or what we thought we did, and kind of hearing it from our angels and guides and getting their input of like, how much do we need to work through this energy, or how much energy do we require releasing to release this karma hold that we have on ourselves. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.